KWT slaying.
Shalom, my family. Shalom, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So, what I'm gonna talk about today, and I'm gonna put the link out for family to come on who want to come on, and I know what the scripture says. I know about the second Exodus, and I know the scripture says we're going back, right? Of course, I know that, but for discussion purposes, the question is, will they steal or take our inheritance? Now, before I get started on that, I want to emphasize the importance of what Brother Karras and them are doing, Quest to Unite Africa. This is highly important. Brother Oral and Brother Mike, right? And y'all gonna see today, why this is important. And those who are not for this movement, you have to look at them sideways. Those who are keeping you away from uniting with your people on the continent, you need to look at them sideways, right? Because if we don't unite, we're in trouble. So I don't know about you, but I believe what Brother Karras and Brother Oral and Brother Mike are doing is from the Most High. It's part of the plan, which is why we should support it. And I'm going to have them on here in the future, and we're going to talk about Quest to Unite Africa and definitely what's happening now. Because right now they're on the continent, they're in Tanzania, and they're doing the work. See, I like people who put action behind their words. I love it, right? Some of us can't go to the continent right now, but this is what needs to happen. We need to be active. We need to be progressive, right? Because guess what? In case you didn't know, we are in the midst of a warfare. We are in the midst of warfare. And some people don't want you to believe that we're in the midst of warfare. Oh, yes, we're in the midst of a warfare for our very lives. Now, I'm going to pin this link to the top. But we're in the midst of warfare for our very lives. And if Africa goes, we go. If Africa disappears, we disappear. But it's not going to happen. We know the prophecies and we know the Most High is going to step in. But you need to understand what the enemy is doing. Okay? So once again, please support Quest to Unite Africa, because this is one of our artillery shells, right? This is one of the ways we hit back, right? This is one of the ways we regain our inheritance. This is one of the ways we can tell them folks we don't want you on our continent. This is one of the ways we can say that's our land and not yours. This is one of the ways we can keep our property that we are supposed to inherit. We are supposed to inherit property. Now, you have to understand, all of this is part of the Dry Bones Project, right? It's all about uniting Africa. T3 and me. Uniting Africa. Journey with us. Uniting Africa. Stepping stones to home. Uniting Africa. This is all part of Dry Bones. And we got to get on one accord, because you know they are on one accord. They are on one accord. How do we say it? We usually say they're on code, right? How we say that, right, family? They are on code. They are on code. Yes, they are on code. We're not. Why aren't we on code? The reason why we're not on code, because we got infiltrators in the midst. Oh, yeah. We on code because they're telling you, don't worry about Africa. Don't go there. Don't worry about them people. You good here in the land of your captivity. That we got people like that. You could buy land in America. You ain't got to go to Africa to own land. That's what they tell you. But you can never own land in America. Oh, but I got a lease. Or I have a contract. I have a mortgage. I have whatever. You'll never own anything in America. Why? Because of taxes. Don't pay your taxes, take your land. Don't pay your water bill, take your land. Oh, time for us to put up a new highway, take your land. There's a governmental use for it, take your land. See, all them people who be trying to build a black economic powerhouse city, a new what they call it, Wall Street, Black Wall Street in America, you can't do it. Don't be deceived. You cannot build a Black Wall Street in America. Why? Because the system is against you building a Black Wall Street in America. Try to build a Black Wall Street in America, and guess who's gonna come knocking on your door? Guess who's gonna remove that Black Messiah figure? You're going to have somebody like the governor of Florida come in there and take all your property. Just think about it. You ain't going to never build no Black Wall Street in America. You can forget it. Think about all the Negroes in America that has millions and millions of dollars. Have they all come together and build a Black Wall Street? No. If they come together and try to build a Black Wall Street, they won't be millionaires tomorrow. How many times they say, oh, all we need to do is circulate our money in our own community like the Chinese do and like the Arabs do and like the Indians do. It ain't gonna never happen for the Negro. Not here. Because the system is designed to keep you down, perpetual slave. That's what they say.
Brothers here, and he's going to touch on, something that I've talked about many times before. Them folks are really getting out of America. They really are. They're packing their bags, they're taking their money, and they going to other countries. But let's go ahead and roll that clip.
But I mean white people. White people, right? Last time I went to Ghana, most of the flight was full of white people. You understand? When I was in Jamaica, I took one of my friends to the picker office for him to work on his citizenship, his residency, all that stuff. There was nothing but white people in there. They're moving out of the country. That's why they're making a big fuss of it. These white people are taking $500,000, $800,000, $1 million out of the nation and building their lives over in the African and Caribbean nations right now. They're not going to Europe. They're going to Africa and the Caribbean, while we, as Black Americans, refuse to leave. We're dug in, right? So what's happening is the country is sinking. You understand? The United States is going to put a clamp on that bleeding. And then when we realize we're African and we try to leave, we're not going to be able to go anywhere because you're not going to be able to get your money out of the country. That's what's going to happen. Trust me. That's the future. That's what's going to happen. It's not a fear tactic. Somebody said that to me. Oh, you're trying to make us scared. No, I'm just trying to warn you because I still give a shit about you. Nobody else cares about you. I give a fuck. I still care about my people. I want you to be successful, and I see what's coming. And I want to be able to say in my heart, I want to sleep like a baby at night knowing that I told you, and you just did whatever you wanted, and your ass got clipped. That's your problem. You know what I mean? But I absolve myself at this point. I told y'all what's happening. You ignore me, it's your life.
This brother said spot on. In 2018, when I first went to Ethiopia, the plane was full of them folks. 2019, when I went to Kenya for the first time, plane full of them folks. I turn around, I go back to Kenya again. No, I think, hold on. The next one after the pandemic was South Africa. I went to South Africa in 2022. The plane, of course, full of them folks. Then I went back to Kenya in November of 2022. Plane full of them folks. March 2023, went back to South Africa. Plane full of them folks. He's not lying on anything that he's saying. And they are going to African countries and Caribbean countries. They don't even want to be in their own homeland. And that's the interesting part. They have a whole homeland of European countries. They don't want to be over there. They want to be where the black people are at.
But they, I mean white people. White people, right? Last time I went to Ghana, most of the flight was full of white people. You understand? When I was in Jamaica, I took one of my friends to the picker office for him to work on his citizenship, his residency, all that stuff. There was nothing but white people in there. They're moving out of the country. That's why they're making a big fuss of it. These white people are taking $500,000, $800,000, $1 million out of the nation and building their lives over in the African and Caribbean nations right now. They're not going to Europe.
And some of these people, believe it or not, or don't like black people, some of them. And they still want to go be in black countries. They can't stay away from black people. And I never understood that. It's like, if you don't like black people, why do you want to go around them? They got those who don't like black people going. I've covered in the past that one story covered where you had one of them called a black person the N-word at a Ugandan hotel years ago. Why would you go to a Uganda at all if you don't like black people? All those European countries, you can go to Canada, you can go anywhere in the Western world, and you don't have to see a whole lot of black folk, but yet you still want to be around black people. I told you, they have a very, very deep love and satanic hate for black folk. They can't stand us, but they can't be away from us. No matter where we go, they're going to follow behind us. I'm telling you, it's nowhere you can't go that they won't follow you. Let's say you leave and go to another city, here they come trickling in. Like, okay, we over here. Why are you here? You go to the continent of Africa, you look up, they trickling in. But you don't like black people, though. But the ones who are leaving, they see the writing on the wall. They have a lot of rich people. They have got other homes and different citizenships outside the United States because they see the writings on the wall. And one thing what the brother said, I've said that many times before, get your passports, start traveling, make relationships with people outside the United States in black nations. And if you ever have to pick up and go somewhere, you got relationships, you know how to navigate, you know how to do everything.
So I hope y'all didn't think this was going to be easy, us getting back in the land, back to the continent without opposition. Sister Betty, how you doing? What you think about all this?
Mr. Kobe, you already know what I think about it.
Yeah, I do.
You already know. You don't even have to ask me about it. Because, you know, my son ain't been... Anyways, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the panel. No matter what is going on, I'm different. I'm built different from most women, people that you know. Karis and Oral met me. So you got to know, when I say that I'm with you, ain't nothing can move Betty Bent from Teo Ministries. Y'all are my brothers. Like I said, I done been with you for many years, and I really feel like when people attack you guys, you are attacking me. I am a extended branch of Teo Ministries. I don't want nobody funking around with Teo Ministry. Know this for a fact. No matter what I post, I'm posted in peace and in love. Because I know for a fact, through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, that Teo Ministry is not a cult, ain't preaching no flea doctrine, no Jim Jones mess, none of that. I know all that is designed by the wicked one. to come up against this ministry. I know this, but I also know that Yakoba and Teu don't want nothing but peace for the family. And I know that you're not trying to make no type of division within the community. This is what I know for a fact. So why would you come up against us like this with that cult garbage? It is wicked. It is wicked. You are causing division. And all I'm doing is trying to bring about a little peace. These people don't want to be here right now. They know the prophecy. You don't know it. You act like you don't see it. If you're saying that this is not the whore that ride on the beast, Babylon, you are mistaken. You are not preaching correct doctrine. You are leading Yahushua HaMashiach sheep astray. If you want to stay here, stay. This the whore. Even their own people want to flee. We know that. They're not showing that on the African channels, the media. They're not going to show it. They want the Hebrews to stay here. They want you to stay here. They don't want you going to the Caribbean and to different countries in Africa because they know if you get up out of this matrix bubble, you're going to see what it really is. Yeah, people want you to stay here who's comfortable here, got nice cars and jobs and houses, and they want you to stay here because they love it. They don't want to be in the wilderness with no running water, no flushing toilets.
Exactly.
But one thing I know, if we get up out of here, which we are, because this place has this place has already fallen. It's just hidden behind the curtain. Babylon is already fell. When the financial banks fell, Babylon done fell. You keep sitting here drinking the Kool-Aid in your comfortable house and cars. That's all I gotta say.
Well said, Sister Betty. So I'm gonna share this other video here, and give me your opinion on that. There's three more. They're real short, so I'm gonna show all three.
I'm actually moving to Africa tomorrow.
Whoa.
We're going because everything's online, our business and everything. So it's honestly like more of a personal, like simplify. We've been in the same like grind and just same people, same everything. So it's just like, we're going to do 3 months, see how the kids do, and then go from there.
So he's moving to Africa. All right, let's check this out.
Guys, we did it. My husband and I just bought one-way tickets to Tunis, Tunisia, and we're selling everything and moving in 6 weeks. So what do you want to know? You have any questions? Like, because I don't know what I'm doing either. So, but if you have questions, maybe it'll help me figure it out. So let me know in the comments.
About moving to Africa. So I just arrived here at the airport in Accra in Ghana with my visa on arrival that my immigration contact provided for me. So I had it on my phone. I show it to the lady. She says, no, you have to print it out. I say, but I come here all the time and I always do it like this. She says, I don't care. You have to print it out. I said, but there's no printer here. So why are you giving me a hard time? She said, I don't care. You have to print it. She didn't even want to look at it. So I had to call my contact. He said, I'll send you the receipt. Show this to her. She didn't even want to look at my phone. So I had to call him back. He had to call someone in the office. And then that guy gave the orders to the lady who didn't want to accept my visa in the first place to make my visa.
Well, apparently she's having a little difficulty getting on the continent. So, Brother Don, how's it going? I can't hear you, Brother Don. What'd you say?
Oh, no, not that again.
Oh,
I said, my brother,
now.
Yakoba, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing good. What you think about all this?
Okay. Man, Sister Betty referenced some information with this potential attorney we're looking at with your attorney. So I want to talk to you. But at any rate, we're making our plans, man. We out of here, man. My nephew I called him this morning because there was a problem, and I called him this morning, and we went through the scriptures, and then we 100% correct, man. You're 100% correct. I don't care, and I don't play no favor. And the reason I called my nephew is because
You breaking
and
up, brother Don.
that really didn't have anything to.
You're
Huh?
breaking up.
What's that?
You keep breaking up.
Oh,
There's like gaps in your message. Just gaps. I hear parts and then it goes silent. Then
okay,
parts.
okay. You know what? I'm gonna.
Okay, he'll be coming back. Lady J, how's it going?
Blessings, family, blessings. You know what? My heart is breaking right now. I had seen a video some time back, which I think I mentioned when I was on here, about the locusts heading to Africa. And here it is. You know, here it is. And so people, they're running for our homeland, our place of safety, our place of plenty, our place of everything that God has provided, that He created. And we're just going to remain here in these places that they've pretty much destroyed for us to die along with their destruction. So people, wake up. And as far as you know, the first cousin to this here place, it is Babylon. And I do believe that, yes, it will be destroyed. I mean, look at how they're bringing the children to worship Satan.
Yep.
And it's now so open. They're even making the clothes, everything, to worship Satan for your children.
But many Israelites want us to stay here, Sister Lady J.
Oh no, no. We gotta flee! Flee! We gotta run. We gotta get out of here.
You're preaching that flee doctrine, Lady J.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna preach it because I've fled many a times. I have fled twice from the US, from Canada, and now I'm gonna flee from this place. And you know what? God is gonna help me because He knows that I believe and trust in Him.
Yep.
And listen, I'm just waiting for my son who's in a little predicament. And once he, makes it out, it's like, yeah, we have to sell everything. Not that I have anything much, but I just, even if it's to make the plane ticket and 2 months worth of rent, like, we gotta go. We cannot stay here because they are killing us. Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
People don't want to believe that.
You know what? I've always said it. Even before the year of perfect vision came about, I said, you know what? They're trying to kill us. They're trying to kill. Look at what they're doing to our food.
Yep.
I saw a video a few days ago where they are radiating your mangoes there in the US.
Destroy all the nutrients.
So what else are they radiating?
Yep.
No wonder you're so tired all the time.
Yep. You're
and
sick,
what
got cancer, all that.
Yeah. And what does God's word say? That they will eat and not be filled.
Yeah. And the Bible
Well,
also say we're gonna eat dung in Babylon.
there you go.
And literally they making what? Food out of dung. I'm just saying, it's crazy.
This is it. I'm sorry, but like I need to sort out quite a few things because it's like, no, I don't want to remain here. My spirit is saying to me, I don't want to stay here.
Exactly.
My heart is saying, I need to get out of here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
for those that are still asleep, I hope that you can hear the urgency in my voice. Because, I mean, why are they heading there? That's not their home. They tell
Exactly.
us all the time. They tell us all the time. Get out of my country.
Yep. Go back to Africa, right?
Yeah.
Now we want to go
But yet
back. They
they're
coming with
running
us.
now for Africa. What? All these years you've said, go back to Africa. Get out
Yep.
of our country. And remember when I was called the N-word, the woman actually said to me, you think you're better than me. You think you're better than me. This is my country, my country. Oh, but you're all fleeing to mine. You know what? It really angers me. I'm sorry to say, because they can just pick themselves up and go. And who's letting them in so easily?
And see, they
How
got the
comes they
money,
are
right?
getting in?
They have the money, so it's easy for them to go. We want to go, but we don't have the money yet. And then the ones of us who do have the money, they sold out to the system, so they're not gonna help us go.
No.
But let me move
But you
on
know
to
what?
Minister Tay, Sister Lady J, and we'll come back around to you.
Okay.
All right, Minister Tay.
Shabbat Shalom, family. How y'all doing? So as I told Minister Yakoba, that video make me feel some kind of way, It's like, living in this nation, we don't control the government, we don't control the policies, we don't control the land that they claim we own because we don't own it, right? Because the tax system will always allow the government to take it, right? Even if you had it paid for, so you see you don't pay your taxes and watch them take that property from you. Or there's a million ways to steal the property from you because of the way they architected the system, right? So we're renting from them and we're working for them, and we can't even create our own jobs, because if we try to create our own jobs, the people with the money won't cater to our jobs. They won't be our clients or our customers, right? I mean, I've experienced that firsthand, right? And I've seen other people of our people who started businesses in America, and they asked the white people why they didn't go to the guy. They say, well, I thought it was a black only business. Since when it's a black only business, right? When you're dealing in technology or whatever the guy was dealing with, right? So, I mean, they carefully crafted this system that if we're going to make money, we're going to make it based on their mercy toward us, right? Whereas on the continent, we have an opportunity to be part of the industrialization age, because really Africa is just entering into that phase. And that's the phase where all these European Western nations and America got mega rich off of the industrialization age, right? Off of the building the highways and the freeways and air conditioned, reliable electricity, air conditioned warehouses, so that you can have storage of the food and a complex distribution system. We have the opportunity to build that over there. And now they're going over there and trying to get there before us, to do it before us. And they think through that, they're going to control our government over there.
Yeah, and take all the prime land. That's
right,
what they want to do.
And that's another thing. They want to take all the prime land. If you've watched Woody Meyer in Uganda, have you seen how amazingly beautiful a lot of that land is? Same thing for Tanzania. Amazingly gorgeous land. Just absolutely gorgeous. And they already know that. That's why they're going. They're like, I want to live that free life with money. That's what they want, right? Because in America, you can't live free. Taxes are too high, right? The cops are abusive. The laws are too restricting. The business system controls who has what position. It's like, look, wake up, understand. We got to form Voltron. How do we form Voltron? We help Quest to unite Africa, Karis and them. Let's support that so we can have a foot on the continent and have some influence while we're helping our people over there, right? While we're helping the continent, they'll realize, hey, there's a benefit by allowing them to come over here, right?
Yeah,
And
and
then
let's not forget as well, T3 and me, them starting businesses over there. We need to invest in that. Stepping Stones, journey with us. We have to invest in it.
I see all of that connected. Why? Quest to Unite Africa's business model is a nonprofit that bringing equipment over, right? Whereas T3 Me and the rest of them, they have a local business that can benefit from what Karis and them are bringing. You see, so it's symbiotic, right? And then they benefit by being nonprofit because they can use the money that would have went to paying taxes to reinvest into the program. So
Minister, tell you, isn't it interesting? They accuse Teo of teaching flea doctrine, but the white folks who are fleeing, they ain't saying nothing about that. And guess where the white folks going? To Africa. Oh, isn't that very interesting?
Well, we the only ones that can't have an opinion. If you notice, they don't deal with these Gentiles who are creating laws of abomination that the Most High is going to judge, and they want us under that system that the Most High will judge. Right? Go ahead and eat from the plate of Babylon and get as fat as you want, and be here when the Most High strikes it down. Go ahead. Those who are hearing from the Most High know it's time to leave Babylon so that she can be judged. Now, how he tells you to do that, that's up to you. You can't just sit by and let the last refuge you have be taken by them when they already been benefiting. How in the world are you going to let them take the last refuge that you have? And on top of it, it's a land of milk and honey.
Yep. Well, Brother Don, since he back, and I'm going to show another quick video after this. Brother Don. So let's go back to what you were saying.
I hope this thing is working now.
Yeah, you sound okay right now.
Okay, cool. It's time to go. There's no question about it. We've got our development company, which is a community of people. We're looking at land. We've got an attorney there on the ground. We've got a developer there on the ground. We've got our plans for our homes. We're going to get with Kiris and them to do our roads. And then from there, man, we're going to start building affordable housing for our people in the diaspora. And it's like none of us are rich, but a lot of us have ambition, and we got a little bit of money. So we're going to put our little bit of money together. We're going to get this property, and we're getting the heck up out of here. And I ain't never coming back to Babylon. Never. But you guys were spot on, man. I mean, like I was saying earlier, me and the nephew, we was going through the scriptures, and then we was looking at what's going on in the world. Come on now. What ships does Rome have?
And what do you think, Brother Donna? People all of a sudden they just piling all on Teo. Sister Betty then told them, don't mess with Teo, but they jealous, don't you think? I'm like, cause what?
Back up, because I got one son that's 6'6" and one son that's 6'3", and we don't even play in the South. Y'all know we don't even play down here. It's dirty down here.
That's it.
Don't even play. And I mean that. I'm different. But I done tried to tell you, don't nobody really like me because I don't play no funky games like that.
That's it.
I don't even get down like that. Sorry, y'all.
Brother Ashby, very intelligent brother, very learned brother. He doesn't really come out. He does put together teachings, but he doesn't really come out. So he's breaking down a lot of stuff we was talking about today. And he said the very same thing. So why are they coming against that brother? Why are they coming against them?
Because we leaving. People leaving. They don't like that.
No, he said it's a spirit of envy.
It is the spirit of envy.
That's the spirit of envy.
Yeah.
It is.
And so that's what I think was going on. And you know how Satan will do whatever he can to keep us discombobulated, keep us distracted, while he moves his children out into the world.
Yep.
No, we got to go. We got to go. I'm so ready. I'm waiting for my passport to come back because I had to get it renewed. I've lived other places, so I don't have a problem leaving here. Hey, I'm just trying to stay alive until
Yeah,
I can get up out of
exactly.
here. For real.
Brother Don, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to survive, man. I'm trying to survive till the Most High get us out of here, man. And I'm like,
Man,
I'm talking to the Lord every day, right? I'm saying, Most High, I say, look, I say these people killing us. I say they're poisoning our air, our food, our water, everything, and they shooting us. I'm like, Most High, we gotta go, please.
Father have mercy. Father have mercy.
Have mercy. Yeah.
So look,
Yeah, and give us some airline tickets.
so look, growing up as a kid in the 70s, right? I mean, we had the dial TV, we had that little phone on the wall, right? With the cord on it. But we were living good, right? Now Africa has it better than that. And I never missed a beat growing up in the 70s, right? But Africa has the cars, they have the electricity, they could use more electricity, more reliable electricity. So I'm like, really, our transition might be different, it might be a little difficult sometimes, but it's not going to be that bad. Not only that, I mean, they got the fresh fruit, the fresh air. Karras had said on his show, I think it was this morning, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, when he landed and the air smelled so good and he felt so much better. That's what I'm expecting to encounter as well, right? Yeah. Because all this poison here in the air and in the food and in the water, right?
Yep. So
people don't have it.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they have no idea what snakes got planned for them.
Exactly.
He bought all the farmland. He has now invented this coating, which has not been FDA approved, to put on fruit and vegetable.
Yep.
It is made of shrimp, lobster, and wood lice. And he's going to be putting that on your fruits and vegetables.
Yep.
Abominable things to the Most High. So when these brothers talk about they trying to kill you with the food, he ain't playing.
Yep, exactly. But I'm going to show another video, then we're going to come back to Deluge Yah. I agree with this little brother right here.
White people should not be allowed in Africa. Exclamation point. Not just white people, Turks, the Arabs, the Indians, the Chinese. If you are not African, then why the fuck are you in Africa? And you see, we need to stop welcoming in everybody, bro. We need to take time for us to heal. We need us, not nobody else. We need us. That's the problem. We always want to welcome in everybody when we haven't even welcomed in our own. So if you are not African and you are not from the African diaspora, you should not be allowed, and you should be really exiled from the kingdom, because we don't have time for certain shit to keep repeating itself. We need to stop trusting everybody, and we need to only trust ourselves as African people. The continent Africa and us African people needs to be rebuilt, and we need to focus on us.
That's what I say all the time. Deluge Yah, where you at? Right there. Deluge Yah, what's your thoughts on what the brother said and any other thing? You have to unmute yourself. Deluge Yah, going once. Deluge Yah, going twice. All right. Brother Fast Nickel, what's your thoughts on that? Oh, hold on. Deluge Yah back. Hold on. Deluge Yah? I think she having connection problem. Deluge Yah? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, look like some kind of connection issue.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna move to Brother Fast Nickel. What's your thoughts, Brother Fast Nickel, on that and anything else?
Shalom. I guess I would say I'm on the fence. And the reason I'm on the fence is if we're talking about Hebrews and Gentiles, I mean, I guess if you're a Gentile grafted in, but overall, I do agree at this stage, as he said, people need to heal. So there needs to be a time frame allowed for that. The one interesting thing that I find, and maybe this is being biased from listening to your channel, but everybody, including myself, because I from an IT standpoint, am helping out on the back end of Quest to Africa. So it's funny how everybody who is on this channel, when we talk about going to Africa, we're also talking about how to help. But when you watch these videos of whites talking about Africa, they talk about going to Africa, but from a selfish standpoint, not to help, but to help themselves.
Well, that's all they know, right? I mean, all they know is benefiting themselves. That's just the culture they have.
I guess, I always relate them to Daffy Duck. Anybody who's a fan of the Looney Tunes, Daffy Duck was always mine, and that's their mindset.
I'm gonna tell you this. I need a good 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 100 years of just black folks. I'm serious. Nobody else, no other cultures. You know what I'm saying? If they want to come in there, they can come in there and trade and leave, right? Maybe in the future, once we all healed up from all of the stuff they've done to us for like 2,000 years, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I feel about it. I need peace, But let me go ahead.
Well, I just say, as people are fleeing or leaving, maybe that's a point what you're saying, where everybody is going to their homeland. And so instead of, whites, as an example, coming to Africa, they should go to their national homeland.
Yeah, I agree. All right, thank you, Fast Nickel. Delosia.
Greetings. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you now.
Hey, welcome. How you doing, family?
Doing good. How you doing?
For having me on. Thank you for having me on, Yakoba. I want you all to consider something. As a family, as Israelites, I think our power is in us coming together as a unit, as one, as opposed to individuals. I think that we are powerful because our Father gives us that power. And that power is because he selected us to be set apart from every other nation, everybody. So that means there's something special about us. Now, we failed in the beginning, and that's why we were cursed and sent into captivity. But I think right now we have the opportunity to show the world who we are. And we do that. This is my opinion, as you would say, Jacob. My opinion is that we have to come together as one. And I want you all to consider something. African American purchasing power is $976 billion. That's our purchasing power. We are one of the biggest consumers in this country. Imagine if we all as a unit come together and put our funds and resources together, we can get all of our people over to the continent. There doesn't have to be just a few of us fleeing, but we can all flee because we're going to help each other. And I recognize that will require some grassroots organization. And I don't know that we have the talent or ability. I'm praying and hoping that we do, that we now have the talent and ability to do what those did in the 60s and the 70s. They came together as a force and pointed out they used COINTELPRO to destroy us because they knew if we had leadership, we would rise. So that's why they keep us fighting and at each other's throats and destroying our leaders, because that weakens our power. But we know now we are in the age where this rulership of the Edomites are coming to an end, and our rulership is beginning. And in order for us to rule, we have to start acting in a way that says we are ready to rule. And we start by loving each other. We listen to what Yeshua said. He said we've got to love each other. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Love the Most High with all your heart. So we got to put aside the dissension. We got to come together as a people, as a family, and love on each other and take care of each other, because there should be no reason why some of us are fleeing, some of us are stuck, because we got folks over here that's just trying to pay bills, trying to care of medical situations. We got to come together, family. We got to take care of that with us coming together and putting all resources, money, and skills and knowledge, because our Black people are incredibly intelligent, incredibly creative. Now, I dare anybody to ask, who is the most creative people in this country? American, African Americans. Who follows the world follows us? They imitate everything we do and then want to take credit for it. So I think we are kind of not realizing how to utilize our power. We need to utilize our power, not just be talented at rapping and singing, but low educated. That we are thinking about us as a unit instead of us as individuals, then we cannot get up there, because this place is going to be destroyed. But it's just a sad thing for me to watch. And then I see my brothers and sisters
You're
back and
breaking
forth.
up. You're breaking
Oh, I'm
up.
sorry.
Yeah, say something again. That was clear just now.
Okay, so I guess the moral of my story is this. I would like, if we could, Yakoba, because listen, brother, you are a powerful voice. I don't know if you recognize it or not. I know you don't accept. Am I breaking up?
No, you sound good now.
Okay. I don't know if you accept what your gift is. I mean, you could be a prophet. You may not be a prophet. I don't know. But I know that you have a gift, brother. You have a gift. And I say that you could be a person that could be instrumental in bringing us all together. I know you've probably been through a lot. I don't know you personally, sir, but I know you've probably been through a lot, and I understand that. I get it. But I'm saying, brother, you have the ability and the platform to do something monumentally important. And that is just to bring us together. If it is for no other reason than to say, okay, y'all, we need to pray. We need to pray as a people. We need to cry out, because that is an activation. When we cry out to Abba, we are activating that spirit that is going to move through this earth. It doesn't require us to just be passive. We have to be active. And my last point is this. The Most High said, do not be of this world. Set yourself apart from this world. If you are attached to this world and you do not belong to him, you must be attached to the kingdom that's coming, because this place is going to die. And so I think for us to just focus on who we are and what our purpose is now, today, I think it's time to change in terms of like releasing all that stuff, that brainwashing, that mind control that they've done to us, and start rising up into our power. And our power is generated by our love for one another. And as long as we don't have that love for one another, then the enemy wins. So that is just my opinion, my thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Sister Delogia.
So I just wanted to
go ahead.
add that what I think we should do, I mean, because here's the thing, all the other nations or nationalities support their nation, right? Like you see how the Jews support Israel, and they back it 100%, and they fund it and everything like that. We have to do the same, right? Because that's going to help us identify. You pick a nation, you know, that you want to support, like, you know, like what Karis and them doing with Tanzania. You pick a nation and say, I want to support that, because look, 501c3 for a pastor, that's crap. You don't want to follow that. But a 501c3 for a nonprofit that's trying to help your people, you want to support that. Why? Because the governmental system won't be taxing that money that you can send to help the continent. And it also opens a path of relationship for the rest of us. So let's say your tax bill that you pay Uncle Sam is $2,000 a year. And you know it's always $2,000 a year. Why not take 200 of that you know going to Uncle Sam anyway, and it's tax write-off, put it toward Quest to Unite Africa? Why not? Because it was going to your enemy, send it to your people, right? That's how I'm thinking, you know?
I feel you.
All right, Minister Tell you, Yaya.
Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little low. If you could speak up a bit.
Oh, okay. Let me. What can I do? Not sure what I can do. Can you hear me? Is this better?
I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say I'm so tired of this place. And as the sister Deluge was speaking, I don't know. I just felt like the Holy Spirit over me, and I think she got a point, Yakoba. I think we should all come together. We got it. We're all sheep, and we all need to herd together and support one another. So I follow her on that, and I hope you consider that, because you do have that voice, like she said. But what I want to say is that I'm just so tired of this place. I want to leave. It's like every time I go outside, it's like I could see the darkness. I could see the evil in people, because I be praying for discernment, and it's just like every time I go out, and I'm so tired of this nation. I'm tired of it, and I want to go back to the land. And it's sad, because sometimes I get like very emotional, because I want the land so bad, but I can't even find a way to get there. And I mean, I'm thinking about investing in Africa, but it's kind of like I don't know nothing about investing. So what am I going to do? Like, I don't know. But I just can't wait for God to give us a hand and to show us a way out. That's just what I think that's all I got to say. It's just very tired of it. I want to leave here. And I think you should really consider Deluge input too.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Brother Karis, how's it going out there in Africa?
Hey, shalom, family. Can y'all hear me?
You sound good.
Okay, I'm here with Brother Michael, and listen. Don't mind the laughing in the background and the pure fun and joy and excitement. That's me.
tell Brother Mike Nehemiah say hi.
I'm sorry, family. I'm not trying to put in rubber in people's faces. Let me just tell you about this day that we had today. I'm gonna tell you how awesome the Most High is. We had really no plan in place with this, and all we have to do is just continue to walk and let the Most High guide us. And we started going to Dodoma yesterday. We went there. It was about 5 a.m, and we didn't have the plan, but the Most High had the plan. Let me just tell you this: we ended up being announced in front of Parliament.
Oh, really? Great.
Parliament. Oh yes.
Yeah.
If you are a volunteer for Quest Unite Africa, you have access to that video. I'm telling you, we were announced, and then on top of that, let me tell you, then we got the work done in the background with meeting with the deputy ministers and getting appointments set up with other ministers, with education, transportation, with health, communications, agriculture. So this thing is not a game, family. This thing is for real. Our photos are there. You can see me, Look, that cameraman caught me off guard in Parliament.
He called me remixing.
he called Brother Mike on he called him on the Bow remix. Man, they did it so bad, but it's funny. That's what I said. I said, look, it's just they're just like us, but here's the thing. We kind of have a little bit of a filter. There's no filter on our folks. So it's funny at the same time. And we know that it's good heart, good natured, and that's how it is on out here. There's no strife or no grief or oh well, this person's trying to do this to me or this person. No, It's really not. A lot of that Babylonian mindset, it gets washed away.
So Karis, tell us about your first time stepping off that plane on a continent.
You know, I wasn't. I mean, I've been in Africa with Egypt. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And so this was a lot different because this was sub-Saharan Africa. And I live in Tampa. I live in Florida.
Yeah.
And the palm trees and everything else, it's the same humidity. But I'm going to tell you, when you see all them black folks everywhere, blackity black. You know, but it's nice because everybody has a smile on their face.
Yeah.
And you're thinking that, okay, that's just because of the airport. Then you go to the city, everybody has a smile on their face. All right, it's just because of the city. Then you go to the country and everybody has a smile on their face. Man, they just love to live. They just love life. And their situation doesn't define who they are. And that's the most incredible thing. We tend to look at a lot of the superficial stuff in this world, right? We want to make sure we have this, we want to make sure we have that. I'm gonna tell you, they have everything. Okay, Mike and I were in a house. That house is probably valued in the United States at about, like, I would say definitely over 1.2 million.
Wow.
Definitely. But they have it here. You want a swimming pool in your yard? You can get one. You want cable? You can get it. You can get that in satellite and everything else. You want what are those rain shower bathroom shower and fountain tubs? Oh yeah, you can get that too. Look, a lot of that stuff you think that they're lacking. The only thing that they're really lacking in is just transportation and infrastructure. And this was what was told to us when we were talking to the deputies. They want the volunteers here. But not only do they want the volunteers, man, they want us. Do you get that? I don't think people get that. They want us here. They want us.
So let me ask you, Brother Karis, since y'all meeting with the Parliament guy, what about them making it easier for us to gain residency and a path to citizenship? Was that topic ever discussed?
That's all part of the plan. But again, it's quid pro quo. Because here's the thing, as what we're trying to do with Oil's vision, right, of making sure that we have that construction equipment. Well, that construction equipment does what? It brings in the economic vitality. And here's the thing, they don't mind doing things for you if you're doing things for them. Being altruistic, having an actual the motive of being there to help our people, they see it and they want to reciprocate it.
So I want to show this video right quick. I want to get your comment on this, Karis, because this is one of the issues I guess people have. At least what they say with Africa because of the way things are. But listen to this right quick.
White people though, they all like family. As soon as y'all come around, they get excited. Excuse me. I've been tagged in this so many times. Let me put it on my post so you don't tag me again. And this message is mostly for the black people. I need you to listen. You can call me Uncle Tom, Coon, whatever. I'm just a messenger. I'm telling you from experience how it is. Why does it seem like white people are loved so much in Africa? Let me tell you. And I can't speak for all Africans because not every African loves white people, but for West Africa, Central and East Africa, for the most part, they do. They love the white man. It's just the reality. See, the blacks in America think, Africans will hate white people because of what their ancestors did in Africa because of slavery and all of that stuff. But in reality, Africans do not see white people the way Black Americans see white people. They just don't. But the thing that blows my mind the most is that white people now, I'm talking about from like the 80s to like modern present, white people now have done so much to right the wrongs that their ancestors committed. They have done so much. Like I know a doctor from my former church that moved to Africa. He made his money in America, moved to Africa, and he was working, doing surgeries, operations, all of that stuff, bringing in prosthetics, medical equipment. He was doing all of that for free. He was doing that for free. Think about it. And that's just one example, just one. There are hundreds of them building the churches in America, donating money, hundreds and thousands and millions. These are common day, everyday folk, the 9 to 5 people. This is not the government. This is just regular people going to Africa and spending their time, their effort, their money, their energy, building schools, hospitals, clinics, churches, and all of that stuff. So in reality, they have done so much to correct the wrong that their ancestors did by saving so many lives. Don't take my word for it. Go to your local church and ask them about their partnerships. They will tell you. They will show you the budget. They will show you everything. My church posts theirs online for everyone to see. See, this is where your money is going. It's going to save a kid in India or Africa or someplace like that. Some people are going to South Africa now to go help the poor, the needy. This is not the government. This is just the everyday common folk. And I'm not saying that there isn't Black people that do that. There are some Black people that do that. For the majority of the time, it's the whites that do that. And what pains me the most is that Black people want to have a good reputation with Africans, but they don't do enough. You don't do enough. There are millions of rich, wealthy, ultra wealthy Black people in America, but a lot of them just sit back and just do nothing. They don't travel. They don't bring good reputation to the Black Americans. And hence, that's the result.
So what do y'all think? I'm gonna make a quick comment on that video.
Hey, Yacoba, this is Kara, so he just lost. So I came in for Kara.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Sorry, my stuff still needs to be charged. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna make a quick comment and get your opinion on that, Karis. So to me, I think we're dealing with raccoon mentality here. But at the same time, I don't think he fully understands that they send in missionaries, they send in church people, they send in doctors. Why? Because they want to, they want to give you certain types of physical problems, right? When they give you their solutions, right? So we know the history. We even saw the South African guy who talked about how they gave him AIDS and stuff, right? And also he talked about how they send the doctors there to help them out. Well, they need goodwill so they can keep coming in. All right, what's your thoughts on that, Karis? And what do y'all see in terms of them folks?
Well, you have to understand meritorious manumissions works both ways. And that's exactly what you're doing here. Just because you're doing a service out of what you think is quote unquote goodwill doesn't deem that service as efficient for, providing the restitution or the resolution or even the reparation or repair of what was done. And you're trying to do it and repair it with a people that hasn't been the victim of that.
And aren't they the ones that cause most of our problems?
Well, exactly. But the problem is you also have a lot of our people that are here and they understand what it is that's gone down and they understand the roles that some of our people have done. I'm going to say some of the people on the continent have done, because you have to understand we're dealing with different tribes. There's different tribes, there's different factions. A lot of our folks, you can literally see Israelite tribes. You can see Hebrew customs. And this is interesting because there are also folks that don't really see those Hebrew customs, because you could see that they're Hamitic. And it's all based off of tribal affiliation. So when you're dealing with Bani or Bantus, when you're dealing with Igbo, when you're dealing with Yoruba and other Hebraic, I would say tribal structures, there are countries that are based off of that. That's why you have Tanzania. Azania,
Zambia.
Kenya, Zambia. Well, guess what? Those are your Hebraic, mostly Hebraic countries. Now, do our people have a leading role in those countries? Oftentimes, no, they don't. We've all, look, Judah and Ephraim have been oppressed together.
Yep.
And there are other folks that are definitely Edomites that have taken up and that have gone the way of their kinsmen. So let's not be coy with that. Just because you're a black person may not necessarily mean you're still the bloodline. So this is where we also have to understand it's a messaging campaign. And guess what? White folks, for the most part, they've had a 400-year messaging campaign.
Yep. Exactly.
Even as they've been colonizing the continent.
Just to confirm. Nothing tomorrow.
While they cutting off your arms, right? They're patching you up. And while they patching you up, they're saying, look how we fixing your issue that we caused.
All right, thanks. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. But let me tell you this: they have news, they have information that's at their fingertips. Don't get this thing twisted. They have internet. Okay, they got better internet than us. They're on their cell phones in the middle of the country. Their roads may be terrible, but guess what? They're walking around with their cell phones connected.
I noticed you had a pretty good connection in that car.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. As you can see, the only thing that was messing us up was when we were getting to the mountain tops and things of that nature. But everything else was fantastic. And again, that was the middle of nowhere. We were in the middle of nowhere. And you still have an internet connection. But that's how most of what you'll see in these areas. Their technology will be on point in terms of connectivity, but they still have to build out the physical apparatus, right?
Yeah.
If you're in trouble and you call 911, guess what? Well, 911 ain't gonna save you, so you might as well not call.
You gotta set up our own 911 network, right?
But
exactly,
that's a business opportunity right there.
Yeah, so let me get Minister Taylor comment on this, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kid, okay. He's messed up, right? And he's caught up in the Eurocentric world. So they're his hero, right? Just like a lot of our people in Africa, the white man is their hero because they don't know any better, right? But I think a lot of our people on the continent are waking up to understand the history of their continent and what the European nations have done to them and what they have done to the diaspora. I mean, literally, I would say this, we are in a war and we have been part of a transatlantic war, right? That's legit, right? We have, and so if you're fighting a war that no longer has weapons, but uses money, politics, marketing, then how do you compete? Right? We have to compete with the weapons we have, right? If you got $5, use your $5 to put that soldier on the battlefield, right? So I think we just need to, trust one another now to do something different, especially if we don't want to be here anymore. I mean, okay, yes, America is fully built from East Coast to West Coast with hardly any opportunities left, whereas Africa has many countries that are in an industrializing phase, right, where they don't have all these connected roads and bridges and things like that, and the electricity is not running everywhere yet. But guess what? All of that is opportunity for those of us who have gained Babylon's knowledge, and we could take it back, right? Yeah. So, and I might be harping on this, the whole idea of, supporting Quest to Unite Africa, but it's our bridge. It's our bridge between them, T3 and me, Journey with Us, Stepping Stone to Home. they're our connection, our bridge, right? So as things improve with that relationship over there, guess what? It's going to be a lot easier for us later on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to Stacey Ann and Brother Karras. Can you put your contact information in the chat, because people was asking how they can donate and how they can get information on Quest to Unite Africa. All right, Sister Stacey Ann.
Good afternoon, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm all right, kind of hot, but good. So I'm listening, and I have kind of different view of what is happening. But let me share something before I forget again. Until recently, about I think it was Sunday, I was watching a video shared by somebody else, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist pastor who was presenting. And he was talking about the change that has been made in Nigeria, them going fully digital, and that by July, America too will be going digital, and us here in Jamaica, that the Prime Minister too is really pushing to go digital. And prior to that, I've been listening to you and saying, but I don't think we have much time. I don't think we have a whole lot of time, but I think I've realized that really it's not years that we have at all. It might not even be a whole year that we have, because as he was laying out the infrastructure for the change, where he said, and as Michael, I think, was just talking, who is in Africa, mentioned about and you mentioned the connection that they have with the internet. And the pastor was saying that was one of the main things that they ensure that everybody had in Nigeria. Cell phone, they have digital ID, and you're going to need your digital account. And it is what is being pushed here as well. So you're talking about those people. So let me just jump away from just sharing that and concurring with you on the little bit of time that we might have remaining here. You see, I'm in Jamaica, so I don't really feel the tension or the pressure that you are experiencing in America with regards to how the issues regarding racism and the treatment otherwise, and how terrible it can become. I never experienced that. A slight encounter with a older lady once at the embassy in Kingston when I followed a cousin, and we were opening the door, but the door was to be pulled out, but we didn't realize because there was no sign on it to say, well, pull. And the reaction that she had, and I was younger then and I really didn't tolerate her reaction. But anyway, not being able to really fully relate to you but can empathize. They are able to travel everywhere. I was listening to a sermon from Pastor Darby recently where he's saying that we're afraid to go wherever. That in America you'll die within 4 blocks because of the fear of going elsewhere, because everywhere you go, and I think you were talking about it yesterday, that it doesn't matter where we go, there is pressure, there is bad maltreatment wherever you go because of this skin complexion. Now, these people don't have that. They've never experienced that. So they aren't apprehensive about going anywhere because their skin seems to give them protection. Their skin seems to be intimidation as well. We're not afforded that. So when we are timid about leaving our familiar spaces, that's understandable too. And thinking about making the move from wherever we are to go into Africa, I want us to remember too, well, I wanted to share something, that there are many people who are making noise about being Israel, and they might find out, as somebody just mentioned, that skin complexion does not mean that you qualify being Israel. And a lot of people are making noise, and they might find it to their rude awakening that they are really not within the bloodline, and they're making more noise and creating a whole lot of havoc. And the same thing too with regards to Africa, because we are not Africa. And I'm not opposed to Quest to Unite Africa at all. I'm simply saying that Africa is where we are from, but we are not Africa. And there are so many things
Well, let me respond to that, because I see a lot of people say we are not Africans and we are not Africa.
No, I'm not saying we're not Africans. I'm saying we are not, as Israelis, we are not Israel. We are not Africa.
I don't understand that statement.
I mean that we don't all, the population of Africa is not made up of just us. So there are so many other things to consider as we are going in. I'm just saying that as you have a comment saying that all skin folk is skin folk, and the fact that we got into all of this problem, we have to, yes, desire to go, yes, be brave to go, yes, do all that we can to do what, but we have to also be prepared for whatever else. So as they are able to go wherever easily without without any problem in most cases, we aren't afforded that. So we just have to keep, yes, wanting to go forward, but still be mindful too that we don't given the protection. So where they can go wherever and do whatever, we can desire to go, be brave enough to forge ahead, but have to be mindful that we are always experiencing opposition.
Oh
Wherever.
yeah, we gonna always experience opposition, and even from our own, as you know, right?
Precisely.
But as Brother Karras and Brother Mike them and Oral doing out there, they're and along with the Dry Bones Project, they're building the road back, right? They're building the relationships back and setting a path in place. Because here's the thing: a lot of people think everything is going to be just magic or miracles or signs and wonders, and how we're going to just automatically appear there, and there's not going to be any footwork or relationship that we've done to help build that relation for us to go back, right? So that Ezekiel 37, bones to bones, sinews to sinews, flesh to flesh, how does that come together? Right? It's people working together, right? And so for the diaspora to come back to Africa, somebody has to go and connect that tissue or that sinew back to the African continent, right? So I understand that we will have struggles both with people who look like us, who may not be us, and us. And as I've said before, I think our worst enemy is those who are Israel, right? Who betrayed the family, right? We've always had Judases, and we're going to always have Judases, because Judas want what? Please himself. Judas wanted what? The money for himself. He didn't care about the family. He didn't care about the Most High. He wanted to please himself. And that's a lot of Israelites out there. And that's why we have to be cautious,
Yeah, and I like to add, I mean, as far as Africa, not everyone in Africa is Israel, right? But they have the same problem that we have, right? So even though some of those tribes out there are not Israelites, right, we can still work together because we have the same goal: to see the continent stabilized and and modernized, right, to a level where we can all benefit from the land and be comfortable and not be bullied by the Western powers, right? That we all need that, right? So yes, I agree with Brother Dean. We need to sort of build our own village almost, or really build that community around a existing city and help that city grow, where we have been, where by us helping that city grow, we have more opportunities and influence.
So somebody says, so go be with Hamites. Yes. Do you not know that the Egyptians, right, were Hamites? And what the Bible say, don't hate an Egyptian, right? The Bible tells you don't hate an Egyptian. Why? Because you lived in their land, and they sort of, at one time they enslaved us, but before then we had a relationship with Egyptians, right? Before then they took us in for the famine. But go ahead, Minister T.
Throughout history, Israel had relationships with Hamites. They weren't always warring with Hamites, right? I mean, look, if you think you're gonna do it all by your own, and you're gonna stand up to this big bully called the European powers by yourself, good luck, right? I think it makes sense if someone shows themselves friendly to you, you show yourselves friendly to them, especially if your goal and your cause is similar, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense to build near us a developed area, because I'm thinking I'm here in Jamaica, and around me there aren't, well, there's one friend I have who we are on the same page, but she's not she's not baptized or anything, but is clearly aware of the things that are happening and that will come, because we have conversations all the time. But I'm out here basically by myself then, and would have the mind to say, all right, true, as soon as I'm able to, I'd like to leave here too, because I've always desired to go. I've always said if I'm going to travel anywhere, because I've never left Jamaica. That's where I'd like to go, Africa.
Yeah,
But
and I think the biggest thing for us in the States is that we know how they're poisoning us, our water, our air, our food, medicine, everything. And so we have a more dire need to leave,
yes,
whereas those in the islands, they're not assaulted as much, even though you may be assaulted, but not as much, right?
I don't know. I think they get the same stuff that we get because we ship it there.
Yeah, but
yeah,
they
but
still got local food and,
yeah,
and,
you
and
have
stuff.
that. You have the option
Yeah.
because you go to the market every week if you want, any day you want. You don't have to shop in a. You would call it a Whole Food store, call it a supermarket. You don't have to go there. You can get natural food, organic, you would say. In the market, you can buy your meat wherever else. You don't have to buy processed food,
And they
and
don't
you're
have
not
to go to
restricted
the
to that.
store and buy lab grown meat.
No, mm-mm.
But
No, we can directly go to the butcher shop.
yeah, exactly.
We have that. Yeah.
But let
So
me
it's
go back
different.
to Brother Karras, Sister Stacy Ann. Thank you.
Man.
So Brother Karras, some people talk about the Hamites there and how we shouldn't trust Hamites and stuff. I don't feel that way. What do you think?
And this is Brother Mike. Karras, he went.
Okay.
All right, he went downstairs because we was leaving the restaurant.
Okay.
But what we found, and that one thing about it, Yacoba, is this: we're not making nobody do anything. That's the beauty of it. I mean, to each his own. I mean, if you like what we're doing, you like what we're doing. If you paying attention to prophecy, you go pay attention to prophecy, and you go act upon what you know from a biblical standpoint, and along with Yah's spirit. That's one thing that's going to happen. Now, if you want to pull out some type of jealous streak, I can do this on my own, so be it. If you go do it on your own, if y'all bless you to do that, so be it. But when it comes down to a great deal of people, brothers and sisters, if we want to put ourselves out there to help other brothers and sisters to chart that path, that is our God-given business to do that. For the brothers and sisters who cannot go there, if we want to put ourselves out there to go and do this, put this footwork in, so be it. I mean, if a brother or sister want to go to Africa on their own, I'm not knocking it. They can do that. But one thing I will say is this: we don't get the point until something bad happened. When something happened bad, that's when brothers and sisters or Negroes get it. Oh, wait a minute, this is bad. But all the while, you had these brothers who was preaching this, who was saying this, and yet you did not believe. But then when something, it's just getting worse right now. But when something bad happens, that's when they believe.
Exactly. It's too late.
It's too late. And man, I just don't want to be that ignorant, and I don't want to be dumb to the fact of what's going on. Period. Whether, because right now, I cannot look at a black person and say he or she is a Hamite. I'm just going back with this here. I just said, well, boom, let's just call them Hebrews or Israel and call it a day. If they're willing to ride with me, so be it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, you may have brothers that's going to be naturally born Israel and can't stand you.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So why would I continue to associate with somebody who can't stand me? Let me go with this person who share my line of thought. And this is where I'm going to roll. Bathsheba, she was a Hamite, right?
So Brother Mike, why did they get upset when we say, okay, here's what we do, here's what we believe, but then they call you a cult because you don't agree with them?
Brother, I've been called an apostate. I've been called some everything. And that's that $1 million question, man. I think until Yah said it is enough, I don't even think that will really truly be answered. They're gonna call you everything up under the book because they don't want to believe or understand what your line of thinking is or what your teaching may be. And all they got to do is read the same book that you read, do the same research that you do. The research is out there, but some of them, a vast majority of them, will not do the research. They stop at one sentence in the scripture and they say this means this and so and so, so and so, and they hear little bits and pieces of something and they think it means that. But would not do the research, but then will argue with you up and down as to you being a person telling that is telling the truth or that is an occult. Everybody want to throw a cult on you because we're the only people who may not, who are not Islam, who is not Christendom.
Exactly.
We always knew we are the people right dead in the middle because both of those entities took our lives, and that's how they based their religious belief. It was off of the book that we know belongs to us.
But you know,
it's just that simple.
You know what they promote, trying to encourage us to do? Continue what we've been doing.
Exactly.
Right? And to keep doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result is what?
Being crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's stupid, right? So, I mean, however that phrase go, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result. We don't want to.
I'm gonna tell you this.
But here's the thing.
What it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
You brothers are black young men who is being used by Yah. See, this is the problem because you're not pale. These people are used to pale people preaching the gospel, and for them to come and say, "Hey, I've been chosen by God to bring this message to you," and they believe. But now, when y'all start waking these people up, who do he wake up? And been some Negroes, and their skin is kind of dark. They black. Oh no, this can't be. This cannot be these people. This cannot be these. Oh, you read the scriptures. The scriptures line up with these people.
Yeah.
Oh no, this cannot be these people. No. Well, how is it that he can say this scripture is saying so and so, and then as he teaching about this, and as time goes on, it comes to pass.
Yeah.
They can't handle that, bro.
And then
they cannot handle that.
And then you got people who say, well, you know, the mark of the beast is when we was in captivity and we got branded, right? And we couldn't buy, trade, or sell with them. We had to go to the master and show them our paper. So the mark of the beast been here for a long time. Do you believe this stuff?
The mark of the beast is being branded, man. I ain't never heard nothing like that in my life.
So then when the real mark of the beast come, the chip, the tattoo, the electronic
they call it technology.
Technology. When the real one comes, you're gonna say, oh, you know what? Since we were already had the chip and we were branded and we were marked, let me take this little chip or tattoo on me where I won't be able to buy, trade, or sell.
Here's what's interesting, right? The slave was branded because he had no rights. He wasn't part of the economic system, but the Bible said you can't buy, sell, or trade because you got the mark.
Not only that, the Bible says all nations, tribes, and tongues can't buy, trade, or sell.
Correct. It wasn't just Israel.
Yeah, not just Israel, not just the slaves. But let me go to Brother Karras right quick. Brother Karras, so what do you think of all of this? You know, we have people saying that, you know, we're dealing with Hamites. You know, what's that, Mike?
No, I ain't know Karras was on there. I'm just looking at like Karras is on there.
Yeah, he's right there.
Okay.
You know,
I'm trying to deal with some things in the background because now the website's down. I'm gonna tell you that's how the enemy rolls, man.
I know,
it's
right?
Like, you know, when you go like 1,000 miles, when we went 1,000 miles today, you know, and then something goes on. But I want to address your question there, Brother Yacoba, because I don't think people understand what the SWIFT system meant. The SWIFT system.
Yeah.
That's how we settle dollars. That's how we settle trade in dollars. And we had that SWIFT system that was going on for the last
really, what, 70, 80 years since the what? The Bretton Woods Agreement, the Bilderbergs. So if you don't understand that that was a worldwide system, and it still is, it's just being dismantled one piece at a time through bricks. This is where everything is at. This is the culmination. Now, there, in my opinion, yeah, there will be a beast system that you're going to have something for your head or your hand, things of that nature. But this system's always been in place because it's always been meant to do what? To ensure that Israel's captivity was always going to be in place. And now that captivity is ending. So now this is why we can do the things that we're doing. We're doing this in this time. Because why? Because all we have to do is literally just walk our behinds into something, and the Most High opens doors. So, yeah, whether or not we're dealing with a Hamite or a Shemite, guess what happens? We're still dealing with the Most High, and the Most High's will is always going to be done. It doesn't matter the person that's going to do it, but we're getting it done because it's
Exactly.
through His power.
See, this is what I like is that, the people who don't just talk, but the people who walk, right? The people who take action, right? Look, all of us can't be out there, but guess what? Quest to Unite Africa is out there. The Dry Bones Project is out there. People are out there on the continent doing the work. So I want to share this video of what we're really dealing with, right? Where this global beast system, how they have it out for both us and they have it out for the African continent. This is what you're dealing with, and you don't understand, a lot of you all, that your lives are at stake, right? And the only way for us to survive is to be together.
Has a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight.
There is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world. It is the United States of America. They don't care. They don't care for human beings. 57 years ago, when Japan was retreating on all fronts, they decided to drop the atom bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Killed a lot of innocent people who are still suffering from the effects of those bombs. Those bombs were not aimed against the Japanese. They were aimed against the Soviet Union to say, look, this is what we have. If you dare oppose what we do, this is what is going to happen to you. Because they are so arrogant, they decided to kill innocent people in Japan who are still suffering from that.
So this is what we're dealing with, right? We're living in the belly of the beast, of the people who did this to the Japanese, right? Who have subjugated this whole planet and who psychologically gaslight us every freaking day through Christianity and tell us to turn the other freaking cheek while I cut your throat, right? This is what we're dealing with. I'll let anybody who wants to comment on it comment it. The panel's open.
Yes, Brother Yakoba, yes. You know, sorry. If people cannot see as to who we are, even if we're not the true children of God, and it is the ish over there, but yet we are at the bottom, and where we are originally from, they want to forever keep poor, to forever enslave us. That is what he is saying, to forever enslave them. How can people not see and understand even what you teach in this ministry? You know what? Take the mark of the beast. Take it. Just go ahead and take it and live for Satan, because that is what this is all about, living and serving Satan. Because I came across a very interesting teaching, the mark of mammon. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. Mammon is their God. And even God himself said, you cannot serve two masters. You will either hate the one or love the other. And that is God or mammon. And with the other video about the gift giving, well, we all know how subtle the serpent was to have them sin unto death until that sacrifice was made for them to live. Gift giving in Proverbs 15:27. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. Go on, let them keep bringing you the things you think you need when you already have all the riches that there ever will be on this planet. And then, of course, we have Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. Wow. You know, they're bringing all their gifts from the so-called regular folks, as he called them, bringing themselves before the great men of Africa to subtly take from you what is yours, to keep you forever poor. And then, of course, we've got Proverbs 29:4. The king of judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthroweth it. You're just giving it all away. They are just giving it all away to Satan. You know, and as so many of us keep saying, we need to work together. We need to work together. You know, I might not have any money, but God only knows, just given the chance for me to be able to do something, that is an added plus to what we need to come together and do. I mean, all of us have something to give where we can come together and make a way out of this madness. Because you know what, like I said once before, I prepare myself for death because I'm sorry, I'm not going to take the mark, and I am not going to be anyone's slave, much less serve on the level of what they want us to serve forever until I'm drop dead in my grave. No, I had a frenemy a week ago that attacked me to the point where I physically felt sick. I thought I was gonna either have an aneurysm or a heart attack. He trashed the Bible. He trashed God. He made it sound impossible for me to ever get out of this place to leave for Africa. Much more, he also said, oh, you're going to need solar panels. You're going to need this. I said, excuse me. It's about freedom. Freedom. As long as there is a river for me to bathe, what more do I need? And as for solar panels, how did our forefathers get by when there were no solar panels? We cannot let the material things of this world get in our way in having us be free, be made free. I want to worship God freely, not under this pressure where you can hardly just about find time sometimes to read your Bible and to pray. I land the plane there.
All right. Thank you, Sister Lady J. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to final comments, and we're going to go with Brother Fast Nickel.
Thank you, brother. So what's interesting is you were just saying about when the mark comes, every nation will not be excluded, including Israel. And this is why I feel as though why the Bible says it will only be a remnant, because our actions are not in alignment. And we all need to repent, but repenting also means changing our ways, obeying God's commandments. And the problem with the church is they only profess love and that you're covered by the blood, but they never tell people that you need to change your ways, because they know that's not something that the people want to hear.
Yeah.
And so, when you hear someone negative say, hey, you're not going to have light, you're not going to have this or that or another, that's that negative spirit. You need to get away from that, because the truth is, if you're obeying the Most High's commandments and you are under his will and you are part of his remnant, you don't need to worry about what you need, because he's going to open the doors for whatever it is you need. If you have faith and you trust in him, he's going to provide everything you need. You're not going to have to wonder where it's going to come from. It's just going to come into your life.
All right.
And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Brother Fast Nickel. Appreciate you being on the panel. All right. So we're going to go to Brother Keith. We have final comments, so I'm going to let your comments be part of the final comments, Brother Keith.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. How are you?
Doing good. How you been?
Yeah, I've been blessed, brother. I just wanted to say, as far as people, having something negative is to say about working with Hamites or people on the continent of Africa. Look, being alone doesn't work really anywhere in life, whether it's your personal life, your professional life. If you are alone, you are vulnerable. Now, of course, I know some people will try to, get super spiritual and say, well, I depend on the Most High. It's my faith that carries me. Of course, first and foremost, we trust in the Most High Yah. But at the same time, it's not good for people to be alone. We need people. It's one of the basic human needs. When you look at the hierarchy of needs, is one of a basic human need is to be a part of something, to be with other people. So who cares whether it's a Hamite or whatever? If you can partner with someone and work with someone, then that's what it's all about. And we will need each other. And when you look, it's already hard enough to move to a new city. Imagine moving to a totally different continent. So when those who will leave go to the continent, it's good to have a community in place. It's good to have people who have already established relationships. It's good if you are able to establish it, to have someone who's already there, you kind of know, or who could, show you the ropes or help you out or to introduce you to people you need to know, because life is about relationships. So, sometimes people are just so negative and so close-minded. They put themselves in a box. They love their little cute little cozy box, and they stay in that little box, and they just talk negatively about everything. So whatever, they can continue to be negative. They will be the ones who will miss out. And at some point, the door will close where, they won't be able to easily access, communities with like-minded people. So, that mindset either needs to change, or people just kind of get left behind. So someone has on the screen, faith is the currency of heaven. Our Heavenly Father is rich and he provides for his children. Continue to trust in the Most High. Yeah, Most High. Yeah, of course. And I would never dispute that. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a man of faith, but guess what? The Most High also uses people. And I'm just
faith
going to be
plus
blunt
what?
about it.
Faith plus what, Brother Keith?
Works.
Yeah.
Works. So people, they love to be tickled. They love to, have the tickling of the ears, just like the scripture says. I like to say they like their bellies to be tickled. They love to be tickled. They like people to tell them what they want to hear. Look, when you read that kind of thing, that type of thing in the Bible, where, like you just said, faith without works is dead. Take it seriously. The Most High put it there for a reason. So, and the Most High uses people. Sometimes people just like to live in a fantasy world, where they think that like a purple unicorn is going to fly over and just give them messages and help them out. It doesn't work like that. You have to do the work. Someone has to like put their hands to the plow and do the work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to get a harvest. So, and the thing is, where the faith comes into play is the Most High will empower you. He will look out for you. He will open doors for you. He will keep doors open for you. So, so the Most High will bless you. He will work with you as you act on your faith and do his work. So people need to stop this fairy tale, 5-year-old, mindset where they think that, everything is just going to fall out of the sky. It doesn't work that way. If you look at scripture, and if you even look at your own life, how the Most High works with you, that's not how it works. So we need each other. We need community, and every other nation does it except us. We love to be lone rangers. But look, if you watch nature shows, you watch like any herd of animals, when the lions or hyenas or whatever, usually hyenas like take food from other animals, but like the lions, for instance, whenever they hunt, it's that stray like water buffalo that'll get targeted. If that's the only way you can move, where you have to move alone, that's fine. If you have no other choice, but it's always safer in a herd. So I just want to say that. So may the Most High continue to bless what you do, brother. Thank you for what you do. We love you.
All right, thank you, Brother Keith. Yeah, based upon just in addition to what Brother Keith said, there was a video I saw of a lion getting attacked by a pack of hyenas, and the lion was fighting. He was doing his best, but he just couldn't beat all of them. And then the rest of the pride of the lions came and helped him out, and those hyenas left. We can't do it by ourselves, right? But if we work together, we can. Sister Betty, any final comment?
Now, I got some final comments. I would not leave without them. I'm going to tell you this right here, Minister Yacoba. Hallelujah for you and your brother, Teo Ministries. I'm just thankful. Believe me when I tell you that. And Yacoba, what I told you before about that acre, it still stands. I'm still going to be your cook. I'm still going to do that. That ain't going to change. That is not going to change. That's a promise until I leave this earth. And listen, it is so sad to hear that African brother speak the way he speaks. He is so lost and so clueless. It saddens my heart so much. It almost brought me into tears in here. Because I'm thinking, how can you not see? They fed us the same thing. Here we are 400 years later, living proof of who those entities are, because they're not human. They're not human, and I'll say that till I'm dead. Ain't no way you can be a human and cut unborn babies out of the womb of their mothers.
Yeah. Yep.
Ain't no way you can hang me on a tree and cut off my daddy's arms and hands and sell them. Ain't no way you could take my infant baby from the cotton field and go fish for gators with me. You're not human. You think because they go on over there fixing you up, they fixing you up, they giving you the Bible and their scripture and their medicine while your eyes are closed. We're still closed-minded in some of their tricks and gifts too. Those are just mere trinkets that they're giving to people on the continent. Trinkets, drops in the bucket just to continue to keep them chains and shackles on your minds. They're a lost soul of people. If they know that if we come together and come to our continent, which is ours, them Africans, they gonna pay for what they did too. They're a part of Psalms 83 also, and we know this. We ain't sleep. We ain't sleep, Judah. We know what it is. Tell you, you know what it is. Jacoba, you know what it is. They put chains on their minds.
Yep.
They're just starting the matrix when we're breaking out, but they breaking in. But we done broke out. The Most High done took the scales off our eyes and undid our ears, and we have repented of our wicked ways and deeds, and we done called back on his name, Yahuwah, Elohim, our creator, Yahushua HaMashiach, our savior. We woke. We are totally awakened to who we are as a people. Us African Americans, who they call us, but we are the people of that book. That is our history book. Even the books they took out, especially Enoch, to trick us, and Jasher, they took them out so we don't know. But now, oh yeah, we know. We know what's up. All praise to the Most High Yahuwah and Table Ministries. You are in my deepest prayer. I love you guys. Thank you.
All right. Love you too, Sister Betty. Appreciate it. Brother Don P, final comment.
I don't care what they say about you. I'm always gonna respect and love you, my brother. And I'm not trying to hear no foolishness. I don't care. Before I met you guys, the Most High told me to come out of Babylon. And this time he told me to come out of her physically. I, you can't convince me. And the other thing is this: if I wasn't with the community of people that I'm with, I'd be looking at y'all, be going, okay, we got to get this. Let's all go as a group over there, because I know alone, man. What's the word say about being alone? That's the worst place to be, is alone. So I don't know what else to tell you guys, man. It is what it is. It's right there in front of your face. You can be like the people during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, or you can be like the people during the time of Noah, and you'll just see what happens. And with that, I'm gonna land my plane.
All right, thank you, Brother Don P. Lady J, final comment.
Well, I just want to thank you and Brother Teu, Minister Teu, for this ministry. I can't remember when I discovered you, but as I listened, I was like, wow, because like I told you, even though I was of that other persuasion, it's so hard finding other people that think the same way you do and see things the way that you do as it is written. And we are really at the end of things now, and yes, we have a lot of repenting to do, praying to do, fasting, because we have to trust in God, and only He can bring it all together for us to leave. And yes, we do have to do our part. We have to do our part. Faith without works is dead. So we have to do our part. But yes, we have to come together and work with each other to get it done, because no man can be an island, and you need community. So Yeah. And I just want to thank you again for this ministry. And please, please, you know, when everyone's trying to tear you down, just remember those of us that we love you, we pray for you, and please just continue doing God's work.
All right. Thank you, Sister Lady J. Appreciate it. Yeah. Final comment.
Yeah, I just wanna thank you for doing the God's work. And I know I can't really articulate myself as well. But I've always been alone, and God has always carried me throughout the way and all my life. So I know like we have our own challenges as a people. Um, but I just want to say, as long as we just keep faith in God, He's gonna make a way. As much as I would like to go to Africa with all of our people, all of us together, it may come a point where I may have to just try to get there myself, because I know even if I jump ship and go to Africa, God's gonna make a way. So I know right now it seems like we're desperate, like we're wanting answers, want to leave, but sometimes you just gotta do it. Same way Abraham just left Ur. Well, that's all I gotta say though. Thank you for having me on, and you have a good day.
Okay. And I just want to add to your statement is just make sure you hear from Yah for you. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Brother Karras, final comment.
Well, I kind of have to laugh because I wasn't even thinking about coming on out here, and look at where I'm at. But it's funny because you know I had this discussion earlier with Mike and Quinn, and I was talking about this. I said, the thing is that in America we are kind of on our own, right? We're in our lonesome. And as much as look, I was really in my lonesome, right? In my lonesome. And the Most High literally took me out of a depression to now we're seeing where I'm at, seeing the video. Shout out to my Quest Unite Africa volunteers. I definitely appreciate their help and their support. And now being able to talk to people about the vision of Quest Unite Africa, being able to see and to say to our brothers and sisters here on the continent, this is what we're planning to do for you. And they look at it like that scene from Trading Places where the Dukes are trying to explain to, Billy Ray Valentine. Oh yeah, this is my vase. Yeah, so I could juggle this vase and I could do it with this vase. And it's like, yeah, this is the resources we want to provide you. And there's no quid pro quo because we know that as you are provided for, the Most High will take care of us. But we know, look, the more that they see that we're behind them, guess what happens? You'll get citizenship easier. You'll get land practically given to you. But they want to see the effort. Who would have a good time just sitting for an hour and a half in a place that's humid and has mosquitoes and they're talking about malaria? I got mosquito bites all over me. I'm like, well, when I get home, I guess I got to go to the VA. Make sure I get those anti-malaria pills. But guess what? They want to see the effort. Who would want to spend 8 hours in traffic, zipping through traffic on rural country roads that have no type of safety protections? Where parts of times for minutes and that go by, you're only doing 30 kilometers an hour, which is like 20 miles an hour. But you want to know what they do? They value that. They appreciate that because they want to see that you don't care about just coming on in here and just taking stuff. You want to actually interact with people. You want to say salama, which is hi. You want to say zuri, sana, which is very good. Asante, which is thank you, I appreciate it. Asante sana. Learning the words, talking to them, being next to each other, staring them eye to eye. Because you want to know what? When I talk to them and I say, look, y'all look just like my cousins. And Mike and I, we see folks that look just like our cousins. Matter of fact, we saw Martin Luther King Jr.'s doppelganger today. Deputy Minister of the House. I said, well, isn't that something? I was about to do that scene from Coming to America. And there I was. I saw Dr. Martin Luther King when I got on up. I said, you Dr. Martin Luther King. He wouldn't have gotten that joke, though. But it's awesome to see that. And then guess what? When I told him that, I said, you all look just like my family. Sebastian he favors my dad. I've seen a lot of folks that favor family members. Brother Fast Nickel, he's a light-skinned brother. And guess what? I done saw a real light-skinned brother that looks just like Brother Fast Nickel. I seen somebody that looked just like me. All sorts of light-skinned, except he had hair. He was younger. I said, who's your daddy is?
But you're worried about that Rolling Stone?
I don't know if my dad been out to the continent. I don't know about it. Have you done your Ancestry.com? Have you done your 23andMe? I don't know. But it was funny because when it was reciprocated that they saw in us their family members, come on now. When I said, you all look just like our family members, and then they said, you know what? You all look just like our family members too. You look like a cousin of mine. You look like an uncle of mine. See, we don't understand the dynamics of this relationship because of how we were oppressed. They were oppressed literally in just knowledge and understanding. We were oppressed in everything. Because why? Because they knew who their leadership was. They knew who their headset was. And when I do my little 90-second elevator pitch, I've done it for now the past 500 times. But they hear it and they said, man, that's amazing. And we look at it like it's really not that big of a deal. We're just putting it on a ship. So we're putting it on a plane and we're sending it on over. Well, let me tell you what I can do. Let me tell you what plans. We already have committees that addresses the same things that they're asking for. And we had already pre-thought that. It's already been pre-coordinated. I asked my folks earlier, I said, hey, can I get a letter that has the STEM and construction pieces? Because that's what they're looking for. Our people got on it, and I got the letter in my hands. And I'm going to send that letter sometime tomorrow. after I'm, feeling a bit better and, sleeping a little bit more. But that's what they see. They see us moving, and guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to move with us. They're saying, I see you moving fast. We're going to move fast. When does that happen? No, we need to be at this speed. You're here in the continent. No, they said, we're moving fast with you. They're still trying to decide if they want to charge us for 10 acres. Here in Dar es Salaam City. Because that's the favor we have. It's not me saying it. It's not Brother Michael saying it. It's not Quinn saying it. It's not Oral saying it. It's none of us. That's the Most High that goes in front of us. If you truly want to be used by the Most High, if you truly said, Father, I thank you. I'm going to use, you can use me, right? We all say it shakingly because, I don't want to be, and let me give you some parameters of how I can be used. I can only be used between the 8 p.m. and 5 p.m. And, some of that time I'm sleeping, right? We want to give the Most High parameters. He's like, no, Father, when I said you can use me all the way, no, I'm here. Trust me, I'm outside my comfort zone. But that's why we needed to be alone, because you only get forged in the fire by yourself. Do you hear me one more again? You can only be forged in the fire by yourself. You can't be in the fire and try to look over there and look over there and see whose fire is burning hotter, whose light is burning brighter. You better understand the challenge. You don't be a leader unless you start to understand who you are from the inside out. And that means you have to be alone. That means you have to be challenged. That means you have to lean only on him. So I challenge everyone here. It's a challenge. Look inside yourself and see what you're going to bring over to the continent. We can't bring over baggage. We can't bring over garbage. Man, look, y'all owe me like 1,000 hectares of land. Calculate that mess. I don't really even know what a hectare is, but that's what you owe me. And you know what? I need a foot rub too, because that's what you owe me. What? You want to have somebody show up at your house, open up your refrigerator, take on out your sliced chicken breast, talking about, hey, where's the bread at? No, you got to come in and you got to let them know who you are and why you're here and what you're trying to do. We all know that this system's collapsing. We're all scared. Yeah, everybody's scared. But guess what?
Some don't believe that, though, Brother Kerr.
Well, guess what? When the system does collapse and they're going to try to find a Quest United Africa safety flight, were you? I never saw you on the rolls of these channels and these platforms. No, they're going to be running to the nearest place of safety. That's what happens when calamity strikes. And now the people on the continent, they see it too. Tanzania is partnered with India for a specific reason. They know what's happening to this dollar.
Yep.
Kenya is literally right next to Tanzania. They know what the president done said. They have TV, believe it or not. They have radios, believe it or not. The only thing that they don't have is just a lot of the niceties that we have. They're
So
functional.
Brother Karras, I might have to roll. So can we
Yeah,
land your
go ahead.
plane?
Sorry. What's up?
I say, can you land your plane?
Yeah, sorry. I was on out there. I done fell out the plane with the parachute on. So
Hey, I was enjoying it, Brother Karras.
Yeah, but I gotta go. So
I understand.
yeah. But you know, just to again, if you all want to see the videos, please sign up for the Quest Unite Africa Zoom call. We also need volunteers. Our 501c3 should be adjudicated here by the end of the month. We're moving very quick. We're moving very, very heavy. And so any bit helps. Any bit helps. Because here on the continent, they really do need the help. But they also need that brain power. And it's not a slight on them. They just know it. They need that extra umph. And really, that's what we provide. So again, family, thank you all, especially Jacoba and Teyu. Thank you for letting me on here and running my mouth for a little bit. Trying to plead my cause. I don't really need to plead my cause. The video speak for itself. I don't know if y'all seen it. I'll have somebody from Quest Unite Africa share that video with you with me looking in the middle of Parliament. That was a trip. That's
send me the
that's
link,
only
Brother
what it looks
Karras.
like. All right, yeah, I definitely will. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So with that said,
All
family,
right,
shalom.
All right, thank you, Brother Karras. Appreciate it. Minister Teyu, final comment.
Yeah, so if you don't understand what we're saying here, then you don't realize the situation we as a people are in and have been in, right? Maybe you are too comfortable. Maybe you are so comfortable that you ignore the things that happen to our people in every facet of this country on a daily basis, right? You just don't get it. You just basking in Babylon, right? You got the dust and filth of Babylon on you and don't realize it. I mean, you are all of you not willing to give up Babylon because of the comfort, right? So are you willing to accept their policies of iniquity in America and the European nations? Are you willing to accept that policy? Because if you accept their policy, if you go along with that policy, then you will receive the judgment that is going to be produced because of those policies, right? Yah has given us his word. He has explained to us what pleases him and what does not please him. And guess what? The modern church doesn't even speak against these policies of iniquity. They're totally silent. So by their silence, they are complicit, right? So us as Israel, we realize we have to pursue the Most High and go back to his will and obey his commands. We understand that, right? So how do we do that without separating from the nation of iniquity, right? How do we please our king, right? When Moses went to say, "Let my people go," he said, "The Most High told Pharaoh, let my people go so that they may worship me." Why? Because they can't worship him the way he wants them to in Egypt, in the land of iniquity, right? So they had to leave. And at some point, we should understand that we cannot worship the Most High the way we are supposed to in a land filled with iniquity. The policies alone tell us that we're at fault for being against their policy of iniquity. We're the bad guys, right? They make good evil and evil good. This is where we are today, right? So clearly, if we want to worship the Most High in a way that pleases him, we all at some point have to leave. And I know, some people just going to sit there and say, there's going to be this magical teleportation to wherever the Most High wants to send us, but he's never moved like that. He's never moved like that. And we already have in Isaiah 60 some examples of how we're going to leave, right? So, I mean, that's all I have, Minister Jacoba. it was a good conversation.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. So I want to thank all the panel for coming on and participating about them folks going over there to our land. And the Most High is in control regardless. But the interesting thing that I see, you know, over the times and over the years is that as the scriptures say and teach, very few going to be saved. Now, that's both physically and spiritually. A lot of people ain't going to be saved. And you know, we try our best to wake them up and present the true gospel, the total gospel, you know. I mean, the most important message is that Christ died for your sins, and those who believe will have eternal life. But those who believe and obey, because faith without works is dead, which means that if you don't have works with your faith, then your faith is dead faith. They don't really teach that. And so, you know, Brother Digital Boy, we're going to catch you next round. I appreciate you coming on, but we was signing off. But we're past the time of religion. You see what I'm saying? We're past the time of religion, and we're past the time of ritualistic actions and, you know, being approved by your pastors and your more. You need to be approved by the Most High. You need to have a personal relationship with Father Yah. You need to know that he's telling you to do something or not do something. As I mentioned before, don't rely on me. Don't rely on Minister Tayu. Don't rely on any pastor or more. You must rely on Yeshua yourself. You must rely on Father Yah yourself. No organization, no person is going to help you into that kingdom. Yeshua will help you into the kingdom. He says, without me, you can what? Do nothing. This is the reality, right? So as people attack me and this ministry and things like that, understand that they're fighting against the work of the Most High. Why? Because you can see the fruit. You can see the fruit of this ministry, right? You can see that it's good fruit. And you can see that the things we've taught has come to pass. And so now it's the time for the dry bones to come together, as Ezekiel 37 has prophesied. But understand this, not everybody wants the dry bones to come together. Not everybody wants the dry bones to come to life. Why? Because some people, especially some Israelites, they didn't broke off from the body. They don't care about the body. They don't care about Israel. They care about themselves. See, that don't work no more. See, that's what got us in trouble before, when we rely on individual self. That is not going to work, right? You might have your millions, and the person next door may have their trillions. But guess what? How they say, if all of us ain't raised up, none of us is raised up, right? That's true. If all of us don't rise together, none of us gonna rise together. This is a fact. And this is why so many people want to facilitate discord amongst the brethren, so that we don't unite. Because if we don't unite, we will never, ever, ever be on top again. We will never be the first. We will always be last. But praise the Most High, he says that we will unite. The dry bones will come back together. So no matter how much people fight against you and fight against this awakening, it's a failure. It's going to be a failure, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Is to get everybody to move back to Africa. That's my goal.
Okay.
I want to get as many African Americans back home to Africa as I possibly can. Because I know the day they move back, everything they fighting for in America, they will not have to fight for over there. All the struggle that they struggled over there, they're going to come there with this mindset, with this mentality, with the finances that they built, you know, the equity in life, and bring it back and invest that in Africa. Man, Africa could be the strongest nation in the world if y'all went back home. So we got everything that it takes to be that. We got the resources, we got the land, we got the population, and together we got the strength and we got the know-how. Like, why we ain't doing that?
Enough said. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah. And please support the Dry Bones Project.